that all TV sets manufactured today have a digital tuner. TV sets manufactured before the year 2005 may not have a built-in digital tuner, and you may not be able to receive our free-to-air digital transmission on Channel 7 to receive our free over-the-air digital HD TV service. Number 1. Plug your antenna into your TV set's RF input jack labeled antenna or cable in. Number 2. You will now have to scan for the digital channel. Please note that all digital TVs are different in terms of scanning procedures. The following is a general guide, but the steps or the terminology may be different for your device. Press the menu button on your TV remote. Go to Setup or Settings. Go to Installation or System or Channels. Go to Scan Channels, Program Channels, Auto Scan, Auto Program, or Auto Tuning. Press Select or Enter or OK to start the scan. When the device says scanning is complete, accept the channels found and close the menus. The opinions expressed on this TV program by the hosts, guests, and callers are solely their opinions and responsibility. They do not necessarily represent the views and opinions of Hot 7 TV or its affiliates.
Viewers and listeners to Like It Is, welcome to another episode. Today is March 10th, 2025. Tonight we have for you a very interesting program. Apart from starting off with our SLP segment, we will deal with a few matters that are of interest and concern to St. Lucians. And of course, I have a special guest who will be joining me later. And so I ask that you stay tuned, and we will have the usual call-in segment where you, the listeners and viewers, can call in and have your say, where you will have a chance for you to tell it like it is. So a special good evening to one and all. A special good evening to those of you listening in the diaspora, those tuned in to Hot 7 TV, those on Kiss FM, and those on, viewing through live stream, whether through Caribbean Hot TV or Caribbean Hot FM, or whether you're tuned in on Facebook through the United Workers' Party page or Lenard Spider Montoute Facebook page. So thank you for joining us once again. And we are going to start, as always, with our SLP segment. But before we go into the segment, let me go into my usual quote by Albert Einstein, which says, "Whoever is careless with the truth in small matters cannot be trusted with important matters." And of course, that is a quote by Albert Einstein that is very apt and applicable when you're thinking of or talking about the government of St. Lucia, the St. Lucia Labour Party government. You know, they cannot be honest for a moment. They are full of deceit and bluff. And we are going to go into this segment where we're going to expose some more of their lies and deceit that they try to pass off on St. Lucian.
When will we see them guys euphoria? When will they stop to Mama Kai? Practice deceit and blatantly lie. So when will it be? When will we see them guys euphoria? When will they?
So ladies and gentlemen, like I've always told you, one of the most common forms of disrespect is to be lied to. Someone who respects you does not lie to you. And the SLP has practiced and perpetuated lies and deceit on the people of St. Lucia with impunity, and it starts from the very top with the Honorable Prime Minister, Philip J. Pierre. So we will go into clip number 1 now, where you will hear for yourself as the Prime Minister passes off another of his many lies that he peddles to St. Lucians. Clip number 1, please.
We had negotiations
Now, we had negotiations with the unions and there was no problem. This is absolutely untrue, folks. This is a blatant, bold-faced lie being told by the Prime Minister, Philippe J. And so, to demonstrate to you the dishonesty in what the Prime Minister just said, let me present to you the president of one of the unions that he's referring to, the president of the Police Welfare Association, Mr. Cameron Law, who will give an entirely different account of the situation. And so, let's go to clip number 2.
Disrespect from the office of the Prime Minister and from the Prime Minister himself. We have not, the Prime Minister is one who have said that he does not interfere in the operations of the GNC. He has said that he does not interfere in the police force.
Yes, folks. In true dictatorial fashion, the SLP government is attempting to violate negotiating approaches of democratic industrial relations to shove down the truths of the workers' unions, whether it be the Police Welfare Association, Nurses Association, and what have you. He and his government have attempted to just shove down the throat of workers their wishes without allowing the democratic process of the negotiation to take place where there is mutual agreement and compromise on the part of both. Of course, we saw that the teachers' union and the CSA actually have accepted the offer, and that is no surprise. I mean, Mr. Claude Paul is the president of the CSA, or is a representative of the CSA. I need to say no more. And of course, Mr. Monrose, we know his political allegiance to the St. Lucia Labour Party, so it is no surprise to us. But the police requested pay for overtime, but rather than negotiate with the police and consider their request, what the government has done is to insult the police by offering them $150, for their overtime, rather than sit and determine what is a decent, respectable compensation for the overtime that police officers put in. Because as you know, police officers work a lot more than 8 hours a day. I mean, most people work a 40-hour week, but the police do a lot more than that, and they are not being compensated like some other workers in the government service get compensated for. And I just want to inform you that initially, when the TUF, which is the Trade Union Federation, which is supposed to represent most, if not all, of the trade unions, I think except the NWU, they agreed to request 20% increase for the 6-year period, a 20% increase. Instead, government just shoved down their throat 13% for the 6-year period. Now, if you work it out, that works out to be just about 2%, 2% for every year, rather. And so it is something to shout about, because when you consider that the rate of inflation is the increase in taxes with the 2.5% that is placed on goods and services, that brings up the cost of living significantly. When you consider the high prices of gas that we pay, the high prices of commodity on the market, and all of those things, it tells us that 2%, roughly 2%, cannot meet the needs and demands of the workers. And so government has done an injustice to the workers, as opposed to the boasting that they're doing where they offered 13% and all of that, and so on. As if 13% is a big deal. It's only 2% per annum. And when you think of the fact that some years ago, a United Workers' Party government offered 14.5% for a 3-year period. 14.5% for a 3-year period. That would have been a lot more, and would have been more in keeping with the rate of inflation at the time, and so on. But given the fact that everything has become so exorbitant of late, you would have thought that a more decent offer would have been made to the workers of St. Lucia. Yet still, the government is making a song and dance that as if they did the workers a favor and so on. You all did the workers an injustice, if you ask me. You didn't do them any favor. But, of course, without any consultation, the TUF accepted the 13% over the 6-year period. Well, like I said, you have Claude Paul, who is a labor operative. I make no bones about saying so. He has clearly declared and demonstrated his political affiliation. And Monrose in the teachers' union, another, declared Labour Party supporter. But apart from the police and the NWU, there are other unions that have not accepted the offer, and the reps were not satisfied or pleased with what government did in the high-handed manner in which they did it. They did not allow the full course of the negotiation to take place, but instead they just shoved what they deemed adequate for the workers down their throat, and the Prime Minister came out even before negotiations were complete to boast and beat his chest to say that there was no problem. So, not only that there was problem, there is a problem. The problem still exists right now. As a result of this, a lot of police, have gotten sick. A lot of the police officers have gotten sick because when they consider the offer that was made to them, that is unsatisfactory, that is insulting, that is disrespectful. And so you heard the president of the Police Welfare Association. Of course, there are also clips where the NWU is expressing their disgust with the Prime Minister and the government negotiating team as well, indicating that negotiations are not complete. And so, ladies and gentlemen, we just exposed the Prime Minister, no less. Like I said to you, that the style of the St. Lucia Labour Party is to keep secrets, to tell lies, and to spread propaganda. We just exposed another lie of the St. Lucia Labour Party in our SLP segment, Secret Lies and Propaganda. And of course, once again, it's coming from the very top and from the Prime Minister, Philip J. Pierre.
You hear lie? That is lie. Lie? You hear lie? Teacher Pussy say if you tell a lie, you're going to hell as soon as you die. Why, sir? Can't take it any longer. Can't take it no more. The people feel so insecure. We gotta tell it like it is, tell it like it is. We don't love how them a live, love how them a live. We gotta make it our business. Our brothers and our sisters, they are being killed. We gotta tell it like it is, tell it like it is. We don't love how them a live, love how them a live. We gotta make it our business.
Here's your guide to installing Hot 7's digital antenna.
Please note that all TV sets manufactured today have a digital tuner. TV sets manufactured before the year 2005 may not have a built-in digital tuner, and you may not be able to receive our free-to-air digital transmission on Channel 7 to receive our free over-the-air digital HD TV service. Number 1. Plug your antenna into your TV set's RF input jack labeled antenna or cable in. Number 2. You will now have to scan for the digital channel. Please note that all digital TVs are different in terms of scanning procedures. The following is a general guide, but the steps or the terminology may be different for your device. Press the menu button on your TV remote. Go to Setup or Settings. Go to Installation or System or Channels. Go to Scan Channels, Program Channels, Auto Scan, Auto Program, or Auto Tuning. Press Select or Enter or OK to start the scan. When the device says scanning is complete, accept the channels found and close the menus.
Mourning a loss? Hot 7 TV wants to help you celebrate the beautiful memory of your loved one with In Loving Memory, celebrating lives. Whether it's a birthday, a wedding anniversary, or some memorable occasion, or the anniversary of the passing of the dearly departed, Hot 7 TV will create a moving video tribute of that special person, showing how much he or she meant to you. Treasured memories, unforgettable moments. Share them with the world and repeat the airing as often as you'd like. Help keep your loved one's memory alive forever in the minds and hearts of all who care. In Loving Memory, celebrating lives. Contact us at telephone number 452-6040 or email us at inlovingmemory@caribbeanhottv.com.
Now you can take Hot FM, Kiss FM, and Hot 7 TV with you wherever you go. Whether you're in St. Lucia or exploring our four corners of the globe. Our record-breaking app has already been downloaded over 500,000 times on Google Play and the Apple App Store. To bring you the best in HD sound, we've relaunched a brand new app. Get it for free in the App Store by simply searching Caribbean Hot FM HD. Listen to us in real time, anywhere, any place, anytime. We've added so many cool new features, like our live in-studio option, where you can see your favorite announcers and DJs at work. So download the app today. It's free. Spread the news. St. Lucia is now in HD around the world on the Hot FM app. Don't miss out. Join the fun and stay connected.
Can't take it any longer. Can't take it no more. The people feel so insecure. We gotta tell it like it is, tell it like it is. We don't love how them a live, love how them a live. We gotta make it our business. Our brothers and our sisters, they are being killed. We gotta tell it like it is, tell it like it is. We don't love how them a live, love how them a live. We gotta make it our
Yes, viewers and listeners, welcome back to Like It Is. And in the second segment, I will just have a brief discussion on a couple matters before I bring on my guest. But I just want to talk about something that has been with us for a while. And as you would be aware, the St. Lucia Labour Party have made almost a career, their politicians have made a career of relentlessly attacking and maligning Guy Joseph, the deputy political leader of the of the United Workers' Party, with baseless and unsubstantiated allegations. You know, but despite all of this, for the better part of 9 years, this is the second term they have been in office since they've started that onslaught on Guy. So cumulatively, they've had about 9 years in office, you know, where they had the opportunity, given the fact that they had the reins of power, they had the levers of government, they could reach, you know, all the sources and the institutions that they want, have access to all the documents that they want. And after hundreds of thousands of dollars spent on investigations, like a linguist, and the hiring of a special prosecutor, not a court case, not a charge, not a shred of evidence against Guy Joseph. Yet still, they continue. That is an insult to the intelligence of the average St. Lucian. That is an insult and a form of disrespect to us, to think that you can perpetuate that BS on St. Lucians for such a long time, costing us so much money at the end of the day on top of it, and to think that that is acceptable and then you can go on forever. But you know, the scaremongering continues. As we heard Ernest Hilaire at an SLP meeting in Ancillary last night, you know, Ernest Hilaire of all persons. But I want you to hear from Ernest before I continue. So let us listen to clip number 3 as Ernest Hilaire continues his scaremongering.
Reason, if somehow, Alan Chassé becomes Prime Minister again, guess who is his deputy? Guy Joseph. When Philippe J.Pierre leaves St. Lucia and he goes overseas, he have a pool of men and women he can choose to be acting Prime Minister. You have Sean, you have Musa, you have Hilaire, you have Emma. You have a pool of persons you can put acting Prime Minister. Imagine Alan Chassé travel and he make Guy Joseph acting Prime Minister. Imagine that. Imagine Alan Chassé leaving and he making Guy Joseph in charge of the country, in charge of the treasury, in charge of the police. One thing, if it ever happens, Philippe J.Pierre will have to go and hide. I will have to go and hide. But that's a serious point. It's a serious point. Because when men are putting themselves forward to be considered as leaders of this country, you, the people, must sit back, think, and reflect on what they have said and what they have done in the past. The point is, would you ever approve of Guy Joseph? Ever? But that's what Guy Joseph and Alan Chasney, they planning.
Really, Ernest? Really? You have acted as acting Prime Minister in St. Lucia. What is more scary than that? We will come to what might be more scary than that. But let me just say this to you. Ernest, you don't have to imagine. Between the years 2016 and 2021, Guy Joseph acted as Prime Minister in absence of Alan Chasney, who was the Prime Minister, more than a dozen times. Okay? And what happened? What happened? We don't have to imagine. It has happened. As a matter of fact, on one occasion, Guy Joseph acted for over 1 month as Prime Minister, as acting Prime Minister of this country. So what nonsense are you trying to peddle? What nonsense are you trying to perpetuate on the people of St. Lucia? You need to stop all that BS as one of the leaders of the SLP. That's all you're good for. You'll have spent thousands of taxpayers' dollars, years upon years, of spreading, casting allegations and aspersions about Guy Joseph. You all have been in office on 2 occasions since you all started doing that. And up to this day, after paying Lindquist thousands and thousands of US dollars, okay, after employing a special prosecutor who sits in an office somewhere cleaning his nails, I assume, or picking his nose, whatever it is he's doing. And if he was a lady, I would say he'd be rubbing his eyes, but as a man, he might be scratching somewhere. And being paid a salary on a monthly basis of the taxpayers of St. Lucia. And when you all were confronted on that foolishness that you all are perpetuating, the Prime Minister had the gall to say to St. Lucians, well, if you have a case, take it to the special prosecutor. When you all, in fact, gave the impression that you were hiring a special prosecutor to deal with Alan Chasney and to deal with Guy Joseph and the other UWP former ministers that you all claim that were corrupt. So now, you all are perpetuating this nonsense. So what happened? What happened, Ernest, when you were acting Prime Minister? Is that the time when our CIP money, in fact, what I want to know is that during the time when our CIP money went astray and we cannot find out up to now WTF? What happened? You mentioned that you have Musa, okay? When Musa was acting for Kenny, is that when the agricultural industry died? Okay, is it when St. Lucia ran out of sugar when Emma Hippolyte was acting? You know, you talk about we have many people who can act as Prime Minister. Sean, when he acted when Kenny wasn't there, is that when he opened the minister's account? We don't have to imagine. We don't have to imagine anything. Guy has acted more than a dozen times in this country. Now, you want to imagine something, Ernest? You want to go into the realm of imagination? I ask you now, Ernest. Imagine El Kwapu was acting Prime Minister of this country. RF, imagine that. As a matter of fact, you know what? You don't have to imagine anything. Richard Frederick is already in charge. Richard Frederick is already in control. And we can see the consequences of this, let alone if he ever becomes Prime Minister of this country. And every St. Lucian who's paying attention to what is going on knows exactly what I'm talking about. Because they know Richard Frederick controls the Prime Minister. Okay? His boy, Philip J.P. And don't think I'm trying to be insultive to the Prime Minister. Richard Frederick said that Philip J.P. is his boy. Okay? He is, and he controls his boy. Can you imagine? He already is controlling the police. He's controlling the city police, and he's controlling the Royal St. Lucia Police Force. He has gone as far as giving orders to the Commissioner of Police on television, on live television, and those orders were carried out. This is what is happening in this country. He is in control of the SLP. Because even in Parliament, he will say to you all, I told you to sit down and shut up. I will talk, I will deal with that. That's how much control he has. He has so much control in the SLP that he dictated that Kenny Anthony could not be a member of parliament, of cabinet, knowing that Philip J. Pierre, the Prime Minister, would give him priority over Dr. Kenny Anthony. That's how much control, how much leverage, how much power he has in the St. Lucia Labour Party. So you don't have to imagine anything, you know. He's already controlling the police. Like I said, he's already controlling the Prime Minister. He's already controlling the St. Lucia Labour Party. Do you want to imagine anything? And we know about the fact that he is linked to the criminal underworld. And I'm not just making allegations and accusations like you all do. By his own admission, Richard Frederick is connected to the criminal underworld here in St. Lucia. Okay? He has corrupted the police. Okay? Because you know that he has admitted on live television files of confidential information on individuals and citizens of St. Lucia that he possesses that was given to him by the police. Okay? Do not ask or talk about the impacts report. That made direct reference to an RF. Have you asked yourself who is that RF and what would happen if that RF ever became Prime Minister of St. Lucia? You want to imagine, Ernest? Do you want to imagine? That is what you have to imagine. If the man you all handpicked, the person you all told us that is the most dangerous person in St. Lucia's politics, the most corrupt politician that we have here, one that you all accuse of drug trafficking, money laundering, and even murder, that you all handpicked and placed him in your cabinet, and you want to come and talk about imagine what will happen if Guy is acting Prime Minister. He has been acting Prime Minister, and what happened? You want to imagine what will happen when Richard succeeds in taking over the St. Lucia Labour Party, which is what he's working toward? And there are some of you who are trying to resist his membership. But you all can jump high, jump low. Philip Pierre is the leader. Richard controls the leader. And you, Ernest, let's see what you can do about whether or not Richard Frederick gets his membership in the St. Lucia Labour Party. That is what is scary. That is what we don't want to imagine. So when you come with your nonsense, the BS that you all propagate time and again about Guy Joseph, you all have nothing on Guy Joseph, absolutely nothing. So cut the crap, cut it. We are tired of it. Unless you all can show up, shut up. That's what you all have to do. Because let me say something to you all. We are not just making allegations. We are not just casting aspersions. There is over $1 billion. There are billions of EC dollars from the CIP program that you have not accounted for. That is what we want you to talk about. The fact that you all have given away our 2 ports, Castries and Soufrière, for $40 million for the next 40 years possibly. Okay? Giving a foreign company the latitude, the authority, the privilege and power to earn $10 out of every $12.50 that we earn from cruise passengers, where $1.50 is given to the solid waste management, and $1 single dollar to SLASPA, and $10 go to the foreigners. Talk about the fact that you have given to a foreign company, NH, to build our halls of justice. It's going to cost them $143 million, but we have to repay them over $200 million before we can own those halls of justice. Talk about that. Okay? These are the things you have to talk about. Talk about the $80 million that was borrowed for World Cup cricket, and up to now, no account has been given for it. No account has been given for it. Talk about that. These are the things you have to talk about. You all want to talk about corruption? You all want to talk about corruption? What, your mirror is not working? If you want to see corruption, look at yourself. And so, ladies and gentlemen, I will take a break here now to introduce my guest, because I don't want to keep him waiting for too long. And of course, I want to have him on sufficiently long so that when we come to the calling segment, that you can have some questions for him. So, ladies and gentlemen, we will take a short break, a very short break. And when I return, I will introduce my guest, one of the deputy political leaders of the United Workers' Party, the former parliamentary representative for ancillary canneries, and I dare say, the future parliamentary representative for ancillary canneries, Dominic Fedee. Please stay tuned.
Can't take it any longer. Can't take it no
can take Hot FM, Kiss FM, and Hot 7 TV with you wherever you go. Whether you're in St. Lucia or exploring our four corners of the globe, our record-breaking app has already been downloaded over 500,000 times on Google Play and the Apple App Store. To bring you the best in HD sound, we've relaunched a brand new app. Get it for free in the App Store by simply searching Caribbean Hot FM HD. Listen to us in real time, anywhere, any place, anytime. We've added so many cool new features, like our live in-studio option, where you can see your favorite announcers and DJs at work. So download the app today. It's free. Spread the news. St. Lucia is now in HD around the world on the Hot FM app. Don't miss out. Join the fun and stay connected.
Attempt at 194. Oh, she's got it! As the gold medal Pan American Games champion.
Looked a good shot, McMahon's goal straight to the field, it does. And there's the Bravo jig. The big man, Bradwin, has gone in the bottom wicket.
What a performance by the Briton. He's getting roared on by the crowd. Who's taking the last gold at one of the greatest editions of the World Championship? Lenard Gordon with the run of his life.
Unforgettable moments in sports. Sports classics during the Hot 7 Nightly News.
In times of grief, Hot 7 TV and Hot FM are here to support you. We offer deaf announcement packages for both radio and television at affordable prices. In fact, when you choose to place a deaf announcement on Hot FM with more than 2 airings, you will receive a free telemetry on Hot 7 TV. At Hot FM and Hot 7 TV, we understand the pain and difficulty you are experiencing during this time of bereavement, and we are committed to helping you in any way we can. On Hot FM, deaf announcements are broadcast from Monday to Saturday from 6:30 a.m. On Hot 7 TV, they are aired on weekdays at 7 a.m. and 1 p.m. and on Sundays immediately following the live broadcast of the church service at the Barbono Good Shepherd Catholic Church with Father Albert. If you are in need of such services, we are here for you. Contact us at 452-6040.
Now you can take Hot FM, Kiss FM, and Hot 7 TV with you wherever you go. Whether you're in St. Lucia or exploring our four corners of the globe, our record-breaking app has already been downloaded over 500,000 times on Google Play and the Apple App Store. To bring you the best in HD sound, we've relaunched a brand new app. Get it for free in the App Store by simply searching Caribbean Hot FM HD. Listen to us in real time, anywhere, any place, anytime. We've added so many cool new features, like our live in-studio option, where you can see your favorite announcers and DJs at work. So download the app today. It's free. Spread the news. St. Lucia is now in HD around the world on the Hot FM app. Don't miss out. Join the fun and stay connected. Now you can take Hot FM, Kiss FM, and Hot 7 TV with you wherever you go. Whether you're in St. Lucia or exploring our four corners of the globe, our record-breaking app has already been downloaded over 500,000 times on Google Play and the Apple App Store. To bring you the best in HD sound, we've relaunched a brand new app. Get it for free in the App Store by simply searching Caribbean Hot FM HD. Listen to us in real time, anywhere, any place, anytime. We've added so many cool new features, like our live in-studio option, where you can see your favorite announcers and DJs at work. So download the app today. It's free. Spread the news. St. Lucia is now in HD around the world on the Hot FM app. Don't miss out. Join the fun and stay connected.
Can't take it any longer. Can't take it no more. The people feel so insecure. We gotta tell it like it is, tell it like it is. We don't love how them a live, love how them a live. We gotta make it our business. Our brothers and our sisters, they are being killed. We gotta tell it like it is, tell it like it is. We don't love how them a live, love how them a live. We gotta make it our
Yeah, Yes, viewers and listeners, thank you for staying tuned to Like It Is. And tonight on Like It Is, I have a special guest, the Deputy Political Leader of the United Workers' Party, former Parliamentary Representative for Ancillary Canneries, former Minister of Tourism, and I predict the next Parliamentary Representative for Ancillary Canneries come the next general election. And there's wide acclaim, wide approval of that statement. Welcome to Like It Is, Dominic. That's not your first time. Welcome once again to Like It Is.
Good to be here, Spider.
And to just let my callers and my viewers rather and listeners know that tonight I invited Dominic, since the St. Lucia Labour Party held a public meeting in Ancillary last night or yesterday afternoon into the night. I beg your pardon? Sorry about that. We just had a little interruption, a technical problem. But we're going to get that sorted out. And so I was saying that that meeting yesterday afternoon into the evening was, could have been called the Dominic Fedee and Alan Chasney show, because that's all they talked about. Of course, they have nothing else to do. But there are some real scathing allegations that were made. And the United Workers' Party that I am now a part of is not going to sit idly by and allow those kind of allegations to continue, as the St. Lucia Labour Party has done over the years, and of course without a response from it. So I have called on Dominic to come to respond to some of those allegations. I've called on him to explain and clear the air, though I know on this very program he has done so before. But as often as they do is as often as we will debunk it. We will not allow it to take root, because lies must not prevail over truth. And so before I hand over to Dominic, let me first of all just say that after speaking extensively on Dominic, the Prime Minister sought to make excuses for the actual sitting rep, Wayne Girard. And I would like you to listen to clip number 4 to hear from the Prime Minister the reasons why. For the last 4 years, the people of Ancillary Canneries were not seeing Wayne Girard at all. But now that a general election is imminent, all of a sudden, he has shown up once again, asking the people to vote for him again. Let's hear the Prime Minister.
For Ancillary Canneries. And sometimes, the biggest complaint you hear about Wayne, Macaware win. The biggest complaint you hear about Wayne, Macaware win. But you know why Upawe win? Because Wayne is in the ministry working on this sovereign wealth fund that will pass in Parliament on Tuesday. The sovereign wealth fund that will make the country safe for his children and his grandchildren. Wayne is in his office working on that. You know why you are going to see Wayne? Because Wayne has to be in his office to ensure that St. Lucia continues the 3 years of economic growth that we have had for the last 3 years. That is why you're not seeing Wayne. You know why you're not seeing Wayne? Because I sent Wayne to England to negotiate in England for what is called a loan, where we use the natural resources of the country to improve the water supply in this country. That is why you're not seeing Wayne. You're not seeing Wayne because Wayne has to go.
All right, you're not seeing Wayne because Wayne has to go. That's why you're not seeing Wayne. Wayne is on his way out, I can assure you. But before I bring on Dominic Fedee, let me just ask Wayne, the negotiations that you went to in England to get a loan for the water supply. First of all, how much was that loan? How much will the project cost, and what exactly is that loan going to be used for? And when is it going to be implemented? These are the questions because you all keep talking about loans and no account is given, no transparency is involved. So you're just collecting money in the name of St. Lucia on behalf of St. Lucians. And St. Lucians, like you feel you do not have a right to know how that money is being spent and where that money goes. We know of the loan of the NLA. So is that another one of them? So tell us. But Dominic, I have you here tonight, and I'm sure our viewers, our listeners are eager to hear. Let me just say, one of the allegations that was made last night, again, by the St. Lucia Labour Party, and that's what they do. they peddle the lies and they keep repeating it with the hope that by repeating it, people will believe it. It was said once again that you were involved in a fundraising effort to buy an ambulance for Canaries, and they are asking, where is the money? I know the answer to that because you have answered that question before, but for the benefit of my viewers, especially those who are probably listening to us for the first time, please explain once again so that it can get through Wayne Girard's thick head what exactly happened to the money, which he's in a position to know, by the way. Let's see how disingenuous they are. And I'm handing over to you, Dominic. Answer the question.
Well, Spider, I think that if you had listened carefully to the clip that you've just played, it speaks to very strong desperation on the part of the Prime Minister, on the part of the St. Lucia Labour Party. They know that Wayne Girard is a non-starter in this election. They know that the ancillary Canaries seat is one of the seats that have already fallen. And so this is the season when you're going to hear a lot of attacks against me, the season where you're going to hear a lot more accusations. And even when I answer them, I'm going to have to keep answering them. The long and short of it is that, Spider, I read an entire statement which is available on Facebook. I had an entire press conference explained to the media how the funds were raised. We had a fundraising at Royalton, and the monies were raised in 2019. And we raised somewhere in the vicinity of about 58,000 in revenue. And we had expenses which totaled about 30-something. And a profit margin of about 26,000 is left at the St. Lucia Social Development Fund, the SSDF. You were the minister who presided over the SSDF. So I've made it absolutely clear. But my good friend, well, not my good friend, but Richard Frederick keeps asking the question, where is the money? I've already told you where the money is. Go to the SSDF and have them to give you a report just like they gave to me. And you will get a very good statement as to where the monies are. What is very, very, very sad though, Spider, is that the St. Lucia Labour Party administration, they've been in power now for what, almost 4 years in July?
Almost 4 years, yes.
And so we've had that fund there, and which represents about 25% of the total cost. Now, COVID came.
Right.
It wasn't possible for us to do any other fundraisers. Events were not possible because of the COVID protocols. If the St. Lucia Labour Party administration were interested in getting an ambulance for the people of Canaries, the CEO of the SSDF, John Victorine, he's from Canaries. In fact, he ran as a candidate against me in the 2016 general elections. You'll remember that.
Right.
So he can go work with Wayne Girard and Richard Frederick, and they can do how many other fundraisers they need. And by now, they should have had an ambulance for the people of Canaries. But they're not interested in that. They're interested in scoring cheap political points. This is all about, let's see how we can make Dominic bad, because you know what? They've done their poll, and the results have shown that Dominic Fedee is way ahead in ancillary Canaries. And so you can have as many public meetings as you want. You can throw as much mud as you want. Listen, the fight is on, and I'm going to continue to dismantle all of the lies of the St. Lucia Labour Party in this silly season.
Well, I do appreciate that, Dominic, and for the benefit of my viewers and listeners, you know, that is what is required of public figures. When the questions are asked, come out and answer the question. I know it can be irritating when some idiots refuse to hear and understand what the answer is, but as often as it is required, as much as it will take to let them know exactly what the situation is, and I admire and appreciate the fact that you are doing so. The St. Lucia Labour Party ministers in government would do well to follow suit. Maybe Kenson Kazimi can take a page.
As the Labour Party has asked many questions of me, I think it's only fair that I ask questions of them.
Right.
So I have been asking Hilaire whether he has been paid or not by Galaxy for the outrageous deal that he's given to them. Spider, no one in public administration, in negotiations, would actually agree to giving someone a deal where you spend $400 million on an asset, but yet I allow you to sell $1 billion of passports. That's a 600 million US in profits. And when you haven't completed the first project, which is the hotel, you then go ahead and give them another contract to build roads. Are the monies for the roads here? Have we received 100 million from Galaxy? But yet we've approved that Galaxy can sell over 600 million US dollars in roads. So you're really concerned about the state's resources? I mean, we are talking, Spider,
you know, and these are the people who have the gall
billions
to say
of EC dollars
that Alan Chasney
has been missing from the Labour Party. Now, I am going to account for every single penny because I believe that in public service, you have to account for every single nickel that you have had the stewardship for. But come on, we're not even getting reports.
Yeah, but you see, I
want
to highlight the fact that they actually said that Alan Chasney is an enemy of the state because he's asking on behalf of the people. He's challenging them on behalf of the people to account for the people's money. Because when the money Dominic is talking about, it is our passports they have given to foreigners to sell. And the foreigners are getting all of that money, and we have no clue, no idea how that money is being disbursed among whom, and, you know, how is it explained? Nobody's explaining to us. So Alan Chasney, Dominic Fedee, Guy Joseph, and the rest have been asking the questions and realizing that they're refusing to account, they're refusing to be transparent. Alan Chasney have taken them to court where they must answer. And so we St. Lucians will eventually find out, as long as it will take, we will eventually find out exactly what has happened to the hundreds of millions of dollars that has been squandered. Well, I say squandered, I'm being polite, you know, that has just gone down the drain, that has not been accounted for.
And Spider, more questions for the St. Lucia Labour Party. Who was the minister in the Stephenson King's cabinet with the initials RF that was mentioned in the impacts report? I know that's not you.
Certainly not me.
You are L. Montoute, right?
Right.
So you would be LM. I know it's not Alan Chasney. He would be AC. I know it's not Guy Joseph. Who in the Stephenson King's cabinet of 207 to 211 is the minister mentioned in the impacts report with the initials RF?
And if you read what is in the impacts report about RF, that makes RF a very dangerous individual, one who should not come anywhere close to decision making, anywhere close to having power in this country. But the St. Lucia Labour Party, and in particular the Prime Minister Philippe J. has handpicked him to be in his office, in the Prime Minister's office, to do his bidding for him and to be his main spokesman. Of course, he has ceded a lot of power to Richard Frederick, so much so that Richard Frederick calls him the boy, while he is the big man. And he demonstrated that in public, you know, and he is the one calling the shot in the St. Lucia Labour Party. When he tells Joachim he has to sit and it is his turn to speak, Joachim has to sit. You know, and that is what is going on in the St. Lucia Labour Party.
Another question.
You know?
Wayne Girard.
Yeah.
What happened to the hotel that was supposed to be built at Freedom Bay? You were the CEO of the company. Dozens of UK pensioners were defrauded. This became an international scandal which embarrassed St. Lucia in the United Kingdom. It reached as far as the UK Parliament, Spider. This is how serious this is. And in this whole scenario...
And Wayne Girard was connected.
And Wayne Girard was the CEO of the company at the time that raised all the money. And he is supposed to tell the people of St. Lucia why wasn't a hotel built at Freedom Bay in Soufrière. Several contractors of Soufrière are still owed on the Freedom Bay project. Are you aware of this, Spider?
Yeah.
A lot of people were not paid. In fact, there was a bigger scandal in terms of how the company that acquired the land where you had the Montoute home, you remember that?
Right.
And those elderly people were shoved off this piece of real estate at the foot of the Pitons and sent all the way to Black Bay, I think is where the new location was. You were in the cabinet at the time. But who negotiated the deal with Wayne Girard?
Coming to think about it, Dominic, Wayne Girard, we follow what you're saying about him, Ernest Hilaire and his Jufali and Range Rover scandal, and now his CIP scandal. Richard Frederick, the notorious guy he is, knowing all what we've been told by the St. Lucia Labour Party about him and what is in the impacts report about RF, El Guapo. And you have many others. So you wonder why they don't call themselves the SBP, the St. Lucia Bandit Party. I mean, and those guys have the guts, have the call to call people. But, let's get off this for a minute. I want to ask you another question before we go any further and we open the lines. Another thing that is being said and is being repeated, and I know you have explained the matter, but I'm calling on you once again to explain to our viewing public, because if they keep hearing it and you do not respond, they may want to believe it. So debunk the lie once again. It is being said that you have started a bamboo rafting business, and that business was stolen from the people of Ancillary, almost suggesting that funding that was allocated for the company and so on, you put things in place so that now that you're not in government, so that you can benefit from it. I think it's worth explaining, so please respond to that allegation.
Absolute nonsense. Spider, look, every single application, the company was incorporated sometime in September, October of 2021. I was long gone from office.
So who was in office at the time?
Ernest Hilaire was the Minister for Tourism.
Right,
I was your humble servant, was in opposition. I was out of power.
Yeah.
I had no influence over anything. I had to apply to about 13 government agencies to get approvals. And Spider, they took long. I was politically victimized, okay? All up and down the civil service because of who I am. And what did I do? I didn't complain. I made sure that everything was in line. And I knew that I could not violate any aspect of the law in establishing this business. Now, the real truth is this. If you were Wayne Girard, you have created 0 jobs, but yet your political opponent, myself, Dominic Fedee, have created employment for 20 young people. Wouldn't you be very nervous about me still being around? Especially given the disastrous performance that he has had for an MP. I mean, none but the Prime Minister felt it necessary to go organize a big meeting, to get lights, to get sound, spend hundreds of thousands of dollars just to come to try to sully my name. And so I feel so sorry for the desperation I saw on the Ancillary waterfront, because right in the location where I had the meeting, I left a hotel project 90% completed. And Spider, you would know that the village tourism project benefited 3 constituencies, Ancillary Canaries, yours, Grosley, and Soufrière. I left a restaurant on the beachfront, completed, and a business opportunity for someone. I left the fish fry building, completely built. All it required was an electricity connection, Spider. It took the Labour Party 2.5 years to connect the electricity. And if it wasn't for Sissy, you know Sissy, our good friend who goes, cherish the time, she goes on social media. And if it wasn't for her protestations on Facebook, where she went and she lambasted the government and said to them that they are wicked because they've kept the facility closed, haven't been built by the United Workers' Party, that they prevented the people of Ancillary from earning their living, all the vendors that are there and the cruise ship coasters go through.
UWP, they have to foil it.
And it was the absolute truth. So they ran into the facility and they launched and renamed the village tourism to community tourism. But those guys haven't done anything. I mean, everything was already made for them. They've invited me to come to they're opening up the phase 2 of the market project. I will go because I'm a patriot, Spider. I will go because it is a project that I am.
I was not the kind that steals and kings.
No, I will go because it is a project that under the leadership of Alan Shastney, we started. And it, again, all of these infrastructure were put in place to make it easier for small business persons wanting to go into tourism so that they can establish their own business. And so that's why we were doing all of this, so that whether you're in ancillary, I know that we put some facilities on the Simple Park in Grosley as well. Kenson has come and he has completed what you have started in establishing the Simple Park. That is its own scandal in the wall falling and who the contractor was and how capable he was. That's for another show. But we started these projects. We did them. Look at the great job that Hera did in Soufrière. So what's going on in ancillary canneries is that Wayne Girard, so he's got the ancillary water started by the UWP. He cut the ribbon for the state-of-the-art health center constructed by the UWP. He opened up the Jackmel preschool, cut the ribbon, constructed by the UWP. But during COVID, we could not have had official openings. Yeah? So, and thank you, Spider, because you were the minister of SSDF, and that came through the BNTF program.
That's right.
So I want to thank you very, very much for your generosity to the people of Jackmel, and again allowing us to use the SSDF for the ambulance fund. So you've been a friend of ancillary canneries. So you're entitled to speak. But Hilaire and Richard, they have done absolutely nothing to the place. They're not entitled to speak about anything. They're just there for politics. They're coming around now, but just like Wayne Girard, they'll disappear. But I want to say this to you. His representation of the people of ancillary has been a complete betrayal. He went and he knocked on their doors. He asked them to vote for him. He said that he was from Jackmel. And for a guy who boasts about his roots and all of that, why are you so distant? Why are you so away? The Prime Minister has to come and make an excuse for you. You have now put your travels abroad. You have now put reading reports and carrying water for the Prime Minister as a priority over coming and attend the funerals of your constituents, attend weddings and birthday parties and sporting events. I went to graduations. And the guy is the MP. I just get invited because I have a good rapport with most of the schools, having served and worked closely with many principals, that I still get invited to things. But the guy is absent at graduations. For the second time in 4 years, I saw him at a funeral in Saturday. Yeah, but absentee representation.
That tells me
he's not committed and he doesn't care.
Is inevitable.
So so all what's happening now, you're wondering. Come on. It's no worry what's happening, Spider. Let's go after Dominic. Right. He's one of the most vocal voices of the United Workers' Party. But I want to say this to them: no threat from Richard Frederick, from Ernest Hilaire, from what's his name again, Wayne Girard, or from the Prime Minister. No threat from them, no lie, Spider, we will allow to go a-begging in this election. We'll take them on.
I agree with you. And now, Dom, I don't want to break away from you, but I just want to take a moment just to deal with a subject, and then we will take a very short break and we'll go into the calls, because I'm sure I have a lot of listeners and viewers like yearning to call in to perhaps ask you questions or what have you. But very often, many of you viewers, listeners, you meet me and you say to me that you do not hear of the plans of the United Workers' Party government, should they form the government or when they form the government. And I find it a little disturbing, because it tells me that you all tune into the Roro and so on and you all listen to it, but you all listen to when the plans are being articulated. So tonight I've decided specifically, and I want you to listen as we do so, to highlight that's just some of the plans that the United Workers' Party has in place come the next general election after they have won, that they are going into office with those plans with the intention of implementing them for your benefit, the benefit of the people of St. Lucia. Unlike the St. Lucia Labour Party that has no plan. Okay, hence the reason why St. Lucia is in the doldrums as it is right now. So I will not waste any more time. Dominic, if you bear with me, we will just, please ask our viewers and listeners to listen as we repeat some of those plans that have already been articulated and highlighted by the United Workers' Party. We have about 12 clips, 12 or 13 clips, just to identify, 13 clips, just to identify some of the points. And we're going to only deal with it in brief form. As you know, the United Workers' Party has presented 12 candidates. Very shortly, they're going to present another 5. As we complete our slate of candidates, you'll begin to hear those positions, those policies being articulated by the candidates. So, but this program is one that is here to keep you informed and enlightened. So we're just going to skim through a few of them. Please, clip number 4, please. Yes, you have the National Youth Volunteer Program. Okay, that is one of the things that the United Workers' Party will be implementing for the benefit of our young people in St. Lucia. We'll go into more details in time to come, as I'm sure, Dominic, you're one of the deputies. You will have a shadow youth and sports minister. When I bring him here, I will challenge him to explain to us exactly in detail what this program is about. The next clip, please. Okay, introducing unemployment benefits through NIC. Now that sounds very interesting, because you know when you lose your job, there's nothing to bridge you until you get new employment. So if it takes you 3 months perhaps to get another job, you know, what happens then? So we are going to create that situation where through the NIC, if you are unemployed, you can enjoy some unemployment benefits until you get a new job.
Yeah, St. Lucians would have had a taste of this while we responded to COVID.
To COVID, yeah, exactly. Right, so that's the same concept. Next clip, please. Correcting unlawful CIP discounts. Now, that is another thing that is cleaning up some of the corruption that you're talking about, that the UW will actually be doing something about it, correcting the unlawful CIP discounts. The UWP is already taking steps, have instituted measures for accounting for those funds by taking the CIP unit and the Minister of CIP, Ernest Sealer, to court. So next clip, please. Modernizing castries and supporting vendors. Now, I hope elections are called very soon, because as time goes by, the city of Castries, you know, is, how you call that, becoming plywoodized?
There's a plywood mall for sure, open up by El Guapo.
You know, but,
but this is a very important project, and you know, Spider, it's important to tell your viewers that we started phase 1 at the fruit section of the market, and then they'll be opening up the box park. I think they're calling it the Anchorage, and that is again started by us under the OECS Tourism Competitive Project.
Right. And to cut out all those shacks that Richard Frederick El Guapo is building all around the city, you know, all the little shanties making it look more like a ghetto than a city. So that is going to be attended to. I'm happy to hear that, because while I'm from Grosley, our city is the concern of every St. Lucian, not only those who live in Central Castries. Next clip, please. Extending St. Lucia's passport validity to 10 years. Now, immediately, there's a savings for the average man, because when you purchase your passport right now, you pay for a passport. After 5 years, you have to renew that passport. So at the end of the day, when your passport, once again, and that 5-year thing was instituted some years ago, but the United Workers' Party government, upon assuming office, will return the validity of your passport to 10 years once again. So that will be a cost savings for you. Next clip, please. Okay, modern bus terminal in Castries and Vieux-Fort. Okay, modern bus terminal in Castries and Vieux-Fort. Of course, you know the kind of congestion that is caused by you know, not having proper bus terminals in Castries for the convenience of commuters who go to and from Castries. And of course, Vieux-Fort is one of our main towns, the second biggest town in St. Lucia. When we do so, that will make life a lot easier, not just for minibus drivers, but also for commuters and for commuters and of course for residents in Castries and Vieux-Fort. And I'm hoping that soon thereafter we'll be looking at something in Grosley, for example, where you have quite a lot of people commuting from Grosley to Castries. So these are all These are all measures that will benefit the average man in this country. As we go to the next clip, let's see what we have in stock for protecting our environment and beaches. Now, that is also very important. And of course, there's a lot of sand mining going on. There is a lot of abuse of our beaches, pollution and all of that. Measures are going to be put in place to protect those beaches and our environment and to keep them pristine and available for the use of St. Lucians, as well as for creating economic activity for the benefit of St. Lucians. Next slide, please. Affordable housing for St. Lucians. Now, I know, Dominic, I know you're big on this one.
Very crucial.
I can only imagine your contribution during the discussion on that one. Like you were saying, very crucial, especially to people who cannot afford expensive, lucrative homes, like we see El Crapo is building for himself, like we see Kenson Kazimi has suddenly, acquired over the last 3 years, but at least if the government steps in and provides affordable housing for St. Lucians, that would be a step in the right direction. Restoring the e-books program. Now, I'm big on that one, Dominic, you know that. And, quite apart from the fact that it will be a cost saving to parents in that they will not have to purchase textbooks, and that is very important because, as you know, the cost of books are exorbitant now. And I can only imagine what happens to the parents who have 2, 3, 4 children going to school at a time. How expensive it becomes for them. So when we have those e-books will not only be a device that they can use and go on the internet with, it will also be a device that will provide textbooks for them. And I like to say, like that's my physical therapy background going in there. The little kids will not have to be carrying those heavy books on their backs anymore. That can, of course, cause injury to them. So that is another good initiative. Eliminating property tax for seniors. Now, Dom, that may not concern you too much at this time as it does concern me.
We all get up there someday.
As it concerns me. But that, again, is a very good measure because as people get older, their earning power diminishes. And so it becomes a burden for them. They have worked, saved, purchased a property, and as they get older, the property becomes a burden on them that they have to pay the taxes. So the government, taking that into consideration, will be eliminating property taxes for seniors.
And they should really keep the tax money for renovations and so on. By that time, you would have had your house for quite some time, a paint job, and so on.
Correct. That's a caring government with a plan that takes the people into consideration. Revitalizing agriculture and reintroducing agriculture in schools. Now, that is very important. You hear a lot of rhetoric about food security and so on, but absolutely nothing is done. As a matter of fact, in the last 4 years, the agricultural industry has been killed and buried by the St. Lucia Labour Party. The United Workers' Party will revive the agricultural industry and, of course, reintroduce it into our schools, and that is where the future of our food security lies. Next clip, please.
My constituency, by the way, would be very, very interested in the revitalization of agriculture from the Roseau Valley area all the way up to Millet in the Kaipak area. Okay. So we're very excited about those plans.
Yes. Now here we have a consideration for a group of St. Lucians: fair and transparent taxi permit transfers. Now, what happens now is very political, and a lot of taxi drivers are complaining about what is happening. That will be regularized, and there will be a fairer and more transparent permit system for the taxi drivers. And so that is another thing worth looking for. Now, Dominic, that one pertains to all of us. Young or old, big or small, that one pertains to all of us.
Especially given the care, the state of our hospitals.
Exactly, state of healthcare right now.
We are presiding over a healthcare crisis.
That's right.
And this one is so crucial.
Right. I heard the Prime Minister try to claim, a national health insurance. That is a UWP concept. That's a UWP idea, and I think it's a wonderful idea to ensure that, Dom, should I be unfortunate to be afflicted with some kind of disease or illness, that I do not have to go through the horrors and the indignity of having to raise funds, having barbecues while my condition deteriorates. You have health insurance coverage for all St. Lucians, and I know we'll go into the details later on, but we're looking at $75,000 initially, of coverage in terms of surgery and so on. Now that is an excellent idea that pertains and affects all of us. Was that it? We went through all the 13. These are just 13 ideas in terms of some of the things that the United Workers' Party, upon assuming government, will do for St. Lucians. There are many more, but as we go along, I will be giving you in doses, because I don't want to, ram anything too much down your throat at one time. So, I give it to you in bite sizes. So those were just 13. And those 13 were approved at the last convention of the United Workers' Party as plans that the party will implement in government. So, Dominic, I will take a short break at this time, a very short break. I ask my listeners to stay tuned, because when we come back, you will then have your opportunity to call in, to tell it like it is, and to pose to Dominic Fedee any questions you may have for him. Please stay tuned.
Now you can take Hot FM, Kiss FM, and Hot 7 TV with you wherever you go. Whether you're in St. Lucia or exploring our four corners of the globe. Our record-breaking app has already been downloaded over 500,000 times on Google Play and the Apple App Store. To bring you the best in HD sound, we've relaunched a brand new app. Get it for free in the App Store by simply searching Caribbean Hot FM HD. Listen to us in real time, anywhere, any place, anytime. We've added so many cool new features, like our live in-studio option, where you can see your favorite announcers and DJs at work. So download the app today. It's free. Spread the news. St. Lucia is now in HD around the world on the Hot FM app. Don't miss out. Join the fun and stay connected.
Mourning a loss? Hot 7 TV wants to help you celebrate the beautiful memory of your loved one with In Loving Memory. Celebrate. It's a birthday, a wedding anniversary, or some memorable occasion, or the anniversary of the passing of the dearly departed. Hot 7 TV will create a moving video tribute of that special person, showing how much he or she meant to you. Treasured memories, unforgettable moments. Share them with the world and repeat the airing as often as you'd like. Help keep your loved one's memory alive forever in the minds and hearts of all who care. In Loving Memory, celebrating lives. Contact us at telephone number 452-6040 or email us at inlovingmemory@caribbeanhottv.com.
Now you can take Hot FM, Kiss FM, and Hot 7 TV with you wherever you go. Whether you're in St. Lucia or exploring our four corners of the globe. Our record-breaking app has already been downloaded over 500,000 times on Google Play and the Apple App Store. To bring you the best in HD sound, we've relaunched a brand new app. Get it for free in the App Store by simply searching Caribbean Hot FM HD. Listen to us in real time, anywhere, any place, anytime. We've added so many cool new features, like our live in-studio option, where you can see your favorite announcers and DJs at work. So download the app today. It's free. Spread the news. St. Lucia is now in HD around the world on the Hot FM app. Don't miss out. Join the fun and stay connected.
Thank you for staying tuned. And as we continue with Like It Is, in this segment, you will have an opportunity to call in and to have your say, for you to tell it like it is, whether you have a question or suggestion for my guests. But before we open the lines, Dominic, I just want to remind our viewers and listeners, the main reason why I had Dominic Fedee here tonight is because at the SLP meeting last night, as they always do, they continued with their deceit and their lies, peddling dishonesty, making allegations that are false. And so I had Dominic to come here to debunk those allegations. One of those that was mentioned was that he engaged in raising funds for an ambulance in Canries. And of course, Dominic, you explained to our viewers and listeners that in fact the funds, well, let me let you tell them in your own words what has happened to the funds once again.
The funds are with the St. Lucia Social Development Fund.
Yes, SDF.
And again, we're calling on the SLP rep for the area, who has said clearly through the words of the Prime Minister that hasn't been in the constituency much.
No wonder he doesn't know where the money is.
That's no wonder he doesn't know where the money is, but he should go get the funds, raise whatever else is missing, and get the people an ambulance.
Right. And the next claim that was made was that your bamboo rafting business, which by the way I must visit one day, to go rafting, I was told is a very successful business and has created employment for people of the area. And they were leveling criticisms and suggesting that while you were in office, you used your position to set up the business which was supposed to be for the community, and you made it your business. So could you just comment on that again for the benefit of our viewers and listeners?
I'll tell you what they're afraid of, Spider. Mm-hmm. There are 20 people employed, and all of them are from the constituency.
Right.
And instead of the normal or the norm that takes place in Ancillary Canneries, where the Labour Party, all they give people are three-step program opportunities. So Christmas, Easter, back to school.
Right.
And you get about $500 each time when you cut the grass. These young men and young women working with me, they get paid every single fortnight.
Right.
When it's Christmas, they get a Christmas bonus, okay? They get their social security in NIC and other benefits from the organization. They are meeting people all over the world that are tipping them in the hundreds of US dollars. They are going to the community of Roseau and they are buying out restaurants. They are buying motorcycles. They are showing the rest of the community a sign of prestige and prosperity. That's what a job does. And I'm very, very proud, Spider, that together we were able to put Roseau on the map. I've seen people on TikTok, on Instagram, and all of these areas. But this is desperation on the part of the St. Lucia Labour Party.
Right.
And I understand clearly.
Rather than encourage and congratulate you, they're trying to fight it down.
They're trying to fight me. I mean, Hilaire has his own jealousy. Whenever he goes out to speak, imagine that you are going out to speak as Minister for Tourism, and a guy, myself, who's very critical and vocal about your failures. And then you have to go talk about my business. Because, Spider, for the last 2 years, Hilaire has not presented any new product to the destination. And so writers, travel writers, and press writers, those that have been to St. Lucia before, there's nothing new. The hottest thing is bamboo rafting.
Right.
So I'm very proud. I can't say the idea came from Jack Mill. That's absolute nonsense. I would never do that. In fact, I would never start the business while I was the minister, because I think that would be a total conflict of interest. When I was out of politics, elective politics that is, we lost the election, nobody would hire you or me because we're too politically exposed, and it would bring a certain level of exposure for the company. So when you are in politics in St. Lucia, you have to go earn yourself a living by becoming a business person and become self-employed. That is just how it works. Right. You go to regional institutions and the Labour Party boys will block you to say, look, don't hire this guy because he's with the United Workers' Party. Yeah. And that's how they operate. So I think with them, there's frustration all around. They don't know how to deal with me. We're driving a very successful business. I'm vocal in terms of, I really don't care what those guys believe. But I think that it's crucial, Spider, that when they continue to destroy the country in the manner that they are, that we must raise our voices on behalf of those business people and those ordinary citizens who are too afraid to speak up on the issues. We've had the worst government I've seen in the history. This is the worst Labour Party government I've ever seen in my lifetime and in my political awareness. I mean, you see Philip J. Pierre is willing to sleep with the devil. The man goes in the same meeting and says that he's proud of Richard Frederick.
Imagine that.
The same Richard Frederick that he said in opposition was the worst thing to have happened to politics.
Let me just translate what the Prime Minister. Let me just translate what the Prime Minister said. The Prime Minister, Philip J. Pierre, said that he is proud of a man that they knew, because they made the claim, who is involved in drug trafficking, he's involved in money laundering, he's involved in murder. He is proud of a man who has been mentioned in the Impacts report, which he as Prime Minister has a copy of, being involved in orchestrating extrajudicial killing, a man who is connected, who is linked by his own admission to the underworld, you know, a man who has lost his bank account. That is who.
Arrested for
under-invoicing.
Now, you were the acting Prime Minister.
Yes.
When he, I mean, what's the tale? Did he really call you?
He called me and asked me to come and get him out of jail, which I told him I couldn't do because there's a separation of powers, as you know, and he should know. And so I would not interfere, unlike what Philip Pierre would do, go to a court to say that he came to ensure that justice was done when Ernest Hilaire was in court, he and his Attorney General. I know better than to do that. You know, this is not the kind of government that I would be a part of or the United Workers' Party would be running. And so, you know, when you think about it, that is what Philip J. Pierre is telling St. Lucians that he is proud. That is who he is proud of. But Dominic, we have very little time left.
The thing about Philip Pierre's recklessness is that what he has done, Spider, he has endangered the lives of hundreds of St. Lucians by putting a guy who has said that he is proud of defending criminals, drug dealers, and getting them off as a lawyer. When you do that kind of thing, and then you give this guy power, what you're saying to the people of St. Lucia, you're saying to them is that you really don't care.
I don't want to cut you, but we need to hear what some of our listeners have to say. And so we're going to open the lines now. Our telephone number is 4500777, and our WhatsApp is 2843499. So now the lines are open. You'll have an opportunity to call in and have your say if you have any questions for my guests. Do we have anybody online as yet? We do? I'm not hearing from my earpiece. Are you hearing? Yeah, okay, we don't have a caller while they sort out our earpiece.
So reckless behavior by
right. Okay, we have a call. So good evening and welcome to Like It Is. Good evening. Go ahead, caller, make your contribution. Tell it like it is. Hello. Okay, we've lost that caller.
Yeah. So reckless behavior on the part of the Prime Minister, who has shown that his number one priority, Spider, is to protect the victory of the Labour Party.
Right.
There is no accountability. Nothing said about.
Okay, we'll have to cut you here again, Dominic. Good evening, caller. Welcome to Like It Is. Please go ahead, make your contribution. Tell it like it is.
Hi, good night. I just need 2 minutes to make my point. So you could hear me clearly, right?
Yeah, we are hearing you. Go ahead, please.
Okay. So I'm going to read a Facebook post. And just give me 10 seconds to read it. Unhinged. My thoughts and my opinion. Publicly shaming the victim and the oppressed, including demonstrating a scant disregard for other allies, cannot be the hallmark of a well-thought-out diplomatic policy. Superpowers do need friends and influence abroad in order to be respected on the world stage. Hopefully, the midterm elections bring a resounding and sobering end of this madness. If it doesn't, then Western leaders ought to seek their own realignment with other nations that are hungry to fill the international void that the Trump administration is hell-bent on creating. The Caribbean, too, must not behave as if this is new shift in American attitude does not pertain to them. Hopefully soon, there can be an awakening that like all other countries around the world, we are bound to feel the impact of this public castigating, shaming, and most of all, lack of interest in further cooperation. This was posted, so that's me now. This was posted on March 1st, 2025 by Renee T. Prudence, and there are many more similar posts. This is coming from the person tasked with pushing the political agenda of the United Workers' Party. Therefore, why is the chairman of the UWP allowed to ridicule and antagonize the government of the United States? So is this the foreign policy position of the UWP?
Okay.
Do you? Let me
ask a question.
Can I finish? I said 2 minutes. Just let me finish.
Yeah, they've taken a lot more than 2 minutes. I can tell you that for sure.
Okay,
but go ahead.
It's not okay. Do you understand, Spider and Fedee? Do you understand the severity and the impact of this rhetoric could have on the people of St. Lucia? And we all know how unpredictable the Trump administration is. So what are you going to do about it?
So let me just chime in if I can. So I think what is more concerning is that we have had the sitting government. What is more damning and frightening is the sitting government has just congratulated the Russian administration for 20 years of diplomatic relations. We have had statements made by this regime about the regime in Venezuela, which is against and to me antagonizes the U.S. One of the prime minister's first visit overseas was to a summit of Latin American governments. We've had St. Lucia being the last country in the Caribbean to have signaled that they will not take Russian applications during the Russian-Ukraine war. So this is more antagonistic behavior from a sitting government regime. The chairman of the United Workers' Party, he is entitled to his opinion in private life. He is not a government functionary. I think what is most important would be how the sitting government regime behaves. If we want to also take this a step further, what does the inclusion of Richard Frederick do to the confidence that the American state would have in us? The government of the St. Lucia Labour Party is fully aware how the Americans feel about Richard Frederick.
Okay, and may I just add on top of this, as Dominic indicated, that this is personal private views, and as a citizen of the United States, he's entitled to that, sir. So, do we have another caller online? Okay, we have another caller. Welcome to Like It Is. Good evening. Go ahead, make a contribution and tell it like it is.
Hello?
Yes, go ahead, please. We are hearing you. Yes, caller,
Hello?
are you hearing us? Yes, caller, hello. Go ahead and tell it like it is.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can. We are hearing you.
I would like to ask a question, which I think is important so that the St. Lucian public can know. How much is being paid to the special prosecutor? Because we have yet to get that information from the government, the Labour Party government. They have not been transparent. Bearing in mind, we have issues of lack of medication at our hospitals, our schools are in a deplorable condition, yet still we can pay a special prosecutor and we have no accounting. We do not know how much he's been paid. This special prosecutor have yet to give his terms of reference. And so I need to know if Senator Dominic Fedee or you, Mr. Montoute, can tell the St. Lucian public how much is being paid to the special prosecutor.
Well, I don't have the answer, and I will advise you not to hold your breath thinking that the government will answer your question. But perhaps the special prosecutor may be generous enough and magnanimous enough to come out and tell us, because it is our tax-paying dollars that is financing his stay in office while he sits there and no one knows exactly what it is that he's doing, if he's doing anything. We have another caller online. A good evening, caller. Welcome to Like It Is. Go ahead, make your contribution. Tell it like it is.
Hi, good evening. Hi. Hey,
Good evening.
Uncle Charles, how are you?
Hello?
Yes, you can hear me? Can you hear me?
We are in your loud and clear, yes.
Okay, fine. Yes, I was just greeting Uncle Charles there. Let me listen. Up until now, I thought the only thing that was a closed circuit was like things like the Lodge, J.C. West, and this thing. But when I look at the CIP, I mean, questions are being asked, and it is so difficult to get answers. I mean, the minister himself, when you ask him how many passports sold, he cannot give an answer, and he's telling you to ask another entity. This is ridiculous, man. This is really ridiculous. And the injunction that Alan is going to fight against the guys. This is a very, very good thing. You understand? Because at the end of the day, you cannot tell me. I mean, governments over decades have been putting roads. The government collects the revenue through taxation, and that same revenue is used to put roads, improve on roads. You understand? You telling me today CIP is the only thing government depends on for roads? Because I heard the man said, how Alan wants to destroy the country. He wants to subsidize. What the hell, man?
Caller, John Compton did 95% of the infrastructure that we have in St. Lucia today. And he did it without any CIP programs. So, very good observation.
Yes, but I mean, let me tell you something. You don't have to be educated to figure that out,
But then they are the ones who want to destroy the country, especially when they go and entangle our country with all kinds of shady characters, like the individuals in BMAX, for example, that will put us under the microscope of the international community and may end up having St. Lucians blacklisted and affect our chances in the international community. That is what is destroying St. Lucia.
I heard the man talking about houses. 4 years you are there. What the hell are the houses, man? What home is the man talking about? What home is he talking about? All of a sudden you can build houses? All of a sudden? You're there for 4 years already? Listen, that CIP thing, it is obvious there's some level of corruption going on in there,
And we will uncover it, caller. We will uncover it.
Because you cannot see the direct benefits from that program. You understand? By now, 4 years, I should be seeing how many houses I should be. You're not seeing that.
But caller, don't be surprised, caller. Ernest Hilaire, here is his history. West Indies Cricket Board, scandal. Jafali at the High Commission in the UK, scandal. Range Rover at the High Commission again, scandal. Joint bank account with Jafali at the High Commission, where several of those checks were actually signed to Ernest Hilaire himself in the Auditor General's report, scandal. And so now you've got the CIP. Ernest Hilaire is just true to form.
Yeah. So, caller, I'm afraid we're coming to the end of the program. We are happy that you called in, but we unfortunately running out of time. And so I just want to take this opportunity to thank all of my viewers and listeners who joined in once again for another episode of Like It Is. And we want to ask you to join us next Monday. But of course, before doing so, on Thursday, we have Made the Opposition, and we are asking that you join us. And when you join us, you join the party that is providing you with enlightenment, that is providing you with the truth, that is providing you with hope. Because like I always say, the SLP is the party of dopes and the UWP is the party of hope. For St. Lucia, SLP is a blight. So vote Flambeau to bring back the light. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank my guests, and Dominic, I will give you the last 2 minutes to wrap up as we say goodnight to our viewers and listeners.
Well, I want to thank you, Spider, for having me. I want to thank your callers. I want to say to your listeners tonight that we are presiding over unprecedented levels of crime, unprecedented levels of high unemployment. We are presiding over one of the worst cost of living crises we have seen in the history of St. Lucia. To add to that, we have a healthcare crisis. None of this speaks of prosperity. None of this speaks of success. We have to make sure that in the coming days and months that we fight for the destiny of St. Lucia. St. Lucia is on the brink of being something far different from we know it. And if we do not fight for this country, Spider, I think it's going to be a far different place than we hope it will be. Thank you. Good night.
Thank you very much, Dominic, for joining us tonight. Thank you, listeners and viewers. I want to thank those of you in the diaspora who always tune in. And like I said, you can look forward to a very exciting, very interesting, very informative program next week. But in the meantime, join us on Thursday for Meet the Opposition. Thank you and good night.
Can't take it any longer. Can't take it no more. The people feel so insecure. We gotta tell it like it is, tell it like it is. We don't love more than my live, love more than my live. We gotta make it our business. Our brothers and our sisters, they are being killed. We gotta tell it like it is, tell it like it is. We don't love more than my live, love more than my live. We gotta make it our
The opinions expressed on this TV program by the hosts, guests, and callers are solely their opinions and responsibility. They do not necessarily represent the views and opinions of Hot 7 TV or its affiliates.
Hot 7 TV is the rising star of television.